Pro Bowl cornerback Devin Witherspoon and the Seattle Seahawks agreed to a 4-year, $132 million deal, making Witherspoon the highest-paid cornerback in NFL history. He'll be a key piece of Seattle's defense as they look to repeat as Super Bowl champs, but will have their work cut out for them in a loaded NFC West. So the Rams have moved to an odds-on favorite in the NFC West, minus 105 odds according to DraftKings. And the Seahawks are next, plus 215, 49ers the third, plus 305. The Rams are the NFC favorites at about 3-1 odds right now, and Seattle has the next shortest odds at 6-1. What was that noise that you just heard?
Oh, that was the money from Devin Witherspoon getting $33 million a year, $100 million guaranteed.
Yeah, and his agent is also the agent for Christian Gonzalez, so we'll see if he gets his bags here soon. But, you know, this is the hardest division in football right now, the NFC West, from where you've got the Rams and then the team that beat them in the NFC Championship last year. And then there's the 49ers to talk about. So, Canty, are we disrespecting the Seattle Seahawks, not giving them enough respect, considering they just came off a Super Bowl win?
Hell yeah, we disrespecting them. They're a chance until somebody beats them. And the part that is so egregious about what is going on is that the LA Rams have dominated the conversation. We just saw an odds-on favorite to win the NFC West. They're at plus 550 to win the title. The Seattle Seahawks have the fourth shortest odds, and their odds are twice as long as the team that they beat 2 of the 3 times they played last year and the team that they've beaten 3 of the last 5 times they've matched up. And that's across 2 different quarterbacks. So I think a lot of the disrespect toward the Seattle Seahawks centers around their quarterback, Sam Darnold, right? It can't be anything else. They returned 87% of the snaps from a year ago across offense, defense, and special teams. So basically, what odds makers are saying and what the betting public is leaning on is the fact that Sam Darnold can't continue the run that we've seen over the last 2 years where he was the most winningest quarterback in all of football.
I think it goes back to exactly that with Sam Darnold, and I'm the problem. Let me be honest on that. I am the problem. I am still in a mode in August of figuring out how Sam Darnold got so good that he won a Super Bowl in February. I'm still not, I'm still not at the point where I understand how the guy that was seeing ghosts, he's got that label, we can't shed it. Indiana football, label, we can't shed it. Despite a championship, it is so hard to shed a label. And so Sam Darnold was the seeing ghost guy. So not only now are you saying he won a Super Bowl, now I should pick him to win 2 in a row? When no one has done that recently, when Josh Allen hasn't won 1, when Lamar hasn't won 1, it always comes back to the quarterback. And it comes back to the quarterback's ability to shed the label. And people like me are slow to come around to it, and that's the problem. That's where the disrespect comes from.
I agree with you guys 100%. I'm in my mind, I'm trying to think, all right, what are some of the other things that people may be pointing to with Seattle? Kubiak left, so they lost their offensive coordinator. Brian Fleury takes over there. You think about it, both running backs from a year ago aren't there. Kenneth Walker is now on the Kansas City Chiefs. Zach Charbonnet injured his knee, so don't know when he's going to be back. They lost some pieces on defense, Reek Williams, but I'm right along with you. Like, I understand all the moves the Rams made, and they're penciled in Super Bowls, and everyone's talking about them. But Seattle was damn good, and defensively they were dominant. And I guess maybe I'm a prisoner of the moment because I'm also watching Hard Knocks, so I'm even more fired up about Seattle this season of watching the way McDonald interacts with all of their guys. But they're definitely being disrespected, but I think it's awesome. If you're Seattle, last year, you think about it, around this time, no one talked about them as potential contenders, even to win the division. You went and you won the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold. Now you win it, you come back, and still no one is talking about you. So McDonald can point to that in the team meeting room. We did everything they said we couldn't do, and they still don't believe us.
Yeah. That's real motivation. That isn't some, like, drawn-up thing that is fake. It's real motivation. They're not favored in their own division. They're not favored in the NFC, and they just came off of a championship. So we'll see if they're able to move forward and take all of the doubters down and win the NFC West and then win the NFC again.
If the Vikings get the best version of Kyler Murray, then what?
Well, Greeny, the Arizona Cardinals were like 10-0 a couple of years ago, and Kyler Murray was riding in the pilot's seat for the MVP award before he went down with an injury and the season went askew. They could compete for the NFC North. I don't think they're a Super Bowl team right now. I need to see something from Kyler Murray. However, when he's at his very best, and he has been at his very best as an NFL player, there might be no more dynamic player in the league. We just haven't seen it in 3 or 4 years.
So I guess what I'm saying is that seems I want to say tepid.
I'm not going to say they're going to compete for the NFC. They're going to compete for the division.
But he does, because I've had people up here telling me, if Kyler Murray plays great, this team can be thinking Super Bowl thoughts. You're not thinking that way.
The rest of the roster is very talented, and Sam Darnold had them as a high seed when he played at. I need to see something from Kyler before we can immediately put him in the same conversation as Darnold a few years ago, who was an MVP candidate.
What do you guys think?
No, I mean, I think if Kyler is at his best, this offense is incredible. But it seems like the last few years, defense has been so important for the championship team. And I know Brian Flores always has a really good defense, but they have some questions on that side of the ball. When we see that defense, if it's as good and explosive as it's been in the past, which it started to wane a little bit last year, then I think they are a Super Bowl contender. But if Kyler can have that offense rolling, if he's playing at his top level, then they're as good as anybody.
Hey, it's a very good division. Let me get another one here. I want to get them all in. Neek, the Texans, if they get the best version of C.J. Stroud, what can they be?
Oh, pack it up. They winning the Super Bowl championship, all of it. They getting champagne in their clothes for weeks. Yeah. That defense is incredible, and it got better. They added Reed Blankenship, they had Caden McDonald in the draft. It's the most fun defense to watch. And if Stroud is at his best with a healthy Nico Collins, Higgins is playing incredibly well opposite him. They're getting back. It seems like Tank Dell is going to come back. If he plays his best and their offense is really, really good.
Okay, me.
Oh, yeah. It's easy. That defense, you saw what they did last year? They should have won the Super Bowl last year, considering how good their defense was, or at least won the game that they lost to the Pats.
Jason knows this. I like to always make a Super Bowl pick right before the start of the season. I'm telling you, I think the Houston Texans might be.
So are you saying you're picking the Houston Texans?
I think not yet. Let me wait.
Okay, I was just making sure.
I think I'm with Nick on this. I think they might be my favorite out of the AFC. Their defense is so good, and if Stroud plays like he did year one, and Nick Caley, I had him on my podcast last week. He was talking about how the two of them are really. There's no weakness on this roster.
I'm trying to poke holes. I really like their defense.
Yeah.
C.J. Stroud, you think about it. He threw 4 interceptions in the playoff game against the New England Patriots in Foxborough. And they still had a chance to win that game because of how dominant this defense was. So you mentioned it, year 2 in the same offensive system. I've talked to Nick. They said C.J. Stroud has been completely locked in since the spring of learning and mastering this entire defense. So, yes, the Houston Texans are going to be fun. I'm just excited. He just disregarded the Rams, who we've talked about
Get
all
them out of here.
Season, and said,
get them all out of here. You said the best version of C.J. Stroud in the way that Jalen Higgins is playing opposite Nico Collins. Like the best version? Yeah.
By the way, even with Aaron Donald, I still want the Texans defense over the Rams defense. Course. Everyone says it's the best defense ever. No, the Texans right now are a better defense.
Rams, Texans, Super Bowl, scoreless tie.
That's
right. We'll see. J-Mac, one more. If the Bengals, this is their best case scenario, they get a healthy Joe Burrow all season long. What are they?
We're looking at a team that's competing with the Baltimore Ravens and say we're going to be the division champs. I love this team, especially on the offensive side with Joe Burrow. They've made improvements on the defense. I still have to see exactly what this defense looks like before we start saying, all right, this is a team that's going to represent the AFC and play in the Super Bowl. But Joe Burrow out there is just such a difference maker physically and mentally.
Dexy has made them a sexy pick. Yeah. They also have an easy schedule, comparatively speaking. Are you one of these Bengals believers?
Yeah, I'm a believer in the Bengals right now, given what they're doing right now. I think Cassius Howell, the young player who also was dinged for having short arms, seems to be pretty effective. It doesn't really matter. So between him and Ruben Bain, next year some short arm guy's going to get drafted super high. But I think that defense is the question. Like if they have a healthy quarterback, they'll be great. But the real question is, can they stop people?
What do you think?
There's so much additions on the defense, and it's hard not to get excited. What I also think helps them is that as much as we talk about Mike McCarthy and we talk about Todd Monken and we talk about Jesse Minter, those are 3 completely new coaching staffs in the division. So even if you don't love Zach Taylor, there's at least consistency from last year to this year where the other teams don't have that.
Yeah, I mean, even when Burrow wasn't there last year, their offense was not the reason. Joe Flacco had them in all these games.
Pro Bowler Joe Flacco.
I mean, just how much better is the defense going to be? Dexter Lawrence, a really good player.
Similar to Dallas.
But I think we've sort of looked at him as sort of the reason why everything is going to turn around.
That'll be the reason why they'll turn around. But I do think that we're underselling how good the defense has to be a championship contender. Like, to be competitive, they just have to be mediocre. To win a Super Bowl, they're going to have to be top 10.
In that conference. Coming up, first take around the corner are the defending